Mississippi Rice. Might as well. I'm walking through a ghost town, y'all ain't playing my sounds. Don't tell me to calm down, don't tell me to calm down. Only time I go backwards is when I wanna moonwalk. Don't test me, my mood's wrong. Don't test me, my mood's wrong. We are who we say that we are. You were lost in the stars, and it's all from the start. Never running no pace, never on the right page. But we still read that book, and we still run that race. Ay, Mississippi Racer riding out, no shortcuts, no time for that. Mississippi Racer riding out till the wheels fall off, I'm driving that. Mississippi Racer riding out, wheels stop burning, strike the match. Mississippi Racer riding out, red light, green light, red light, good night. Ay, red light, green light, red light, good night. 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 Time to chill, don't sweat it.
Welcome. I can never get it right. I can never get it right. Welcome back to Sideline to Sideline. I am Wire to Wire Gene in the upper left corner. He's chomping at the bit. He's from Integrity Sports Network. It's my man. He doesn't play hurt. He plays sick. He plays through all conditions. It's Kyle Edwards.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Look, like I said, a little under the weather, but I'm here to talk some football. Interesting game tonight. Thursday night football's been a little better this year than most, so we'll see. Get to see that new Ravens uniform.
I have no idea who you're rooting for tonight, Kyle. Help me out. Help me understand.
Hey, everybody knows who I'm rooting for.
I don't know. Guardy 3 might be able to fill us in. Because he's not, my man is just popping. He's everywhere. He's the N1 podcast. He is the Meaty Boys podcast. He's doing stuff with ring channels all over. Wrestlers, world champions are coming on. He's not guarding the 2. He's guarding the 3. It's Mr. Guardy 3. What's up, brother?
Hey, I'm doing great. Say can't complain too much. Packers are 6-3 going into the bye. Can't ask for much more than that.
So when you say the Packers are 6-3 going to bye and you can't complain, I actually hate that. I hate that, what you just said. I hate that. Can I explain to you why I hate that, Brett? I love you, dude. I really do. You just lost to a division rival last week, and you said I can't complain. The Philadelphia Eagles are 6-2. If the Eagles lose this week to the Dallas Cowboys and they're 6-3, I am not going to come on this show next Thursday and be like, I got nothing to complain about. The Eagles are 6-3. No, Brett, I want you to want more. I want you to want more out of your Green Bay Packers because I want more for them. I want more for you.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It was a frustrating loss, and it was more frustrating that it seemed like we beat ourselves more than the Lions actually beat us. So many self-inflicted errors, and you just can't make as many mistakes as we did against Detroit.
I do want to ask you guys this question because I think it's very relevant. I think we can all agree that the top 2 teams in the NFL so far to this point in the season are one team that hasn't lost a game but has looked very beatable, and one team that has lost a game that's looked unbeatable. And it's the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. And what I'm very interested to know is, Brett, listen, I'm going to have you take the Packer fandom down just a little bit here. Just got to pull the walls back a little bit. I want to know who you two think are the best team in the NFL. Is it the Lions who look like the best team in the NFL but aren't undefeated, or is it the undefeated Chiefs that just consistently keep finding a way to win football games? You know, on Monday Night Football, we'll talk about that in a second, but on Monday Night Football, if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you score a touchdown with 28 seconds left on the clock, you have one choice and one choice only, and that's trot out the 2-point conversion and go for 2 and go for the win. It's almost like an NBA game. You go for the 3 on the road. If you're at home, you might go for the 2 and play for overtime. You don't go for 2 or for an extra point and play for overtime versus Patrick Mahomes. I swear there's a weighted coin because they win every goddamn coin toss in overtime, and then you never touch the ball. Like, that's not okay. Your thoughts on that? Am I wrong? Is anybody on the other side? Now, granted, hindsight is 2020, but I'm asking you to get in your mindset when they score that touchdown. Are you saying I'm kicking the extra point, or I'm going for. I was screaming at the TV. You got to go for 2 here. You got to go for 2 here. Kyle, who's the better team? We'll start there.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the 2-point conversion thing.
I do think the Lions are the best team in the league right now. Now, I got
a guy right here on YouTube that thinks the Lions are the best team in the league.
Exactly. I could also say I think the Chiefs are probably better equipped to win in January and February. Like, I could say that. But I just think when you look at Detroit, the physicality that they play with, the kind of constant aggressiveness from Dan Campbell in that group, I just think that right now, if you are going to beat them, you can't turn the ball over. You can't waste opportunities because that group looks like they will take advantage of every opportunity that you give them. So I understand what Kansas City's doing. The fact that they are undefeated and have looked as bad as they have speaks to the championship pedigree that they have. But to me, it's the Lions are the best team in the league.
Guardy 3, tell him why he's wrong. I know you're on the other side of this because you're a Packers fan. There's no way you are coming on this podcast and telling me the Lions are better than the Chiefs.
I mean, it'd be kind of disingenuous of me, though, to say that the Chiefs are better because they really aren't in all reality.
Okay.
I think that the Chiefs are better in the sense that they have Patrick Mahomes. They have the best quarterback on the field at all times, and that gives them a chance to win. But the Lions, I think, are a better football team than them right now. Don't ask me who would win if they matched up in a one-game series because I'm going to pick the Chiefs every time because they do have Patrick Mahomes. And in that situation, yeah, I'm absolutely going for 2 every time.
Okay, so what I want to kind of get into is I want to go for the 2, but I'm going to make an argument for the Kansas City Chiefs. And hear me out. Hear me out. If you asked me this question a week ago, I would have told you the Detroit Lions are the best team in football. And I still, guys, you know what my Super Bowl prediction is. I have the Lions in the Super Bowl. I think they're the best team in the NFC. I think they're playing great football. I love everything about Detroit. And kneecap biting, please don't bite my kneecaps off for this. I'm not. What I seen on Monday Night Football was a resurgence of a top 5 receiver. I'm not saying he's still a top 5 receiver anymore, but DeAndre Nuke Hopkins added to that offense with Kelsey come January, that team is going to be unbeatable. You have a guy that's got Stickum on his gloves for hands. Hollywood Brown would be back by then. Rashee Rice might be back by then. You got 2 running backs. You got a defense with Spagnuolo that shows up every year in the playoffs. I'm sorry, guys, and I get it. We're asking right now. I know that. But when I look at right now, I'm asking who the best team in the NFL is. And I'd be hard-pressed to tell you it's not the team that has not lost a football game. And it's not the team that has the best quarterback in the NFL. I will take the Kansas City Chiefs over anyone. Because when there's a third, let me ask you guys a question real quick. Any other team in the league, 3rd and 14 for the Detroit Lions. What do you think the odds are of them completing that 3rd and 14 for first down? 25, 20%? If the Chiefs have a 3rd and 14, I'm telling you right now, I'm not comfortable at all. It could be 3rd and 35. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is going to throw a dot and put it right on the money for a first down. Now, Chase is in the chat. I agree. The Chiefs are clutch, but they're not the best team in the league by a long shot. They're sloppy. The offense is lackluster, etc. However, the best teams don't always win in January. Kneecap Biting checks in and says, plus 110 point differential in the league. Chiefs needed overtime to be 3rd string wide receivers. Not the same. Let me ask you a question, though, Kneecap Biting. And I'm going to go back to my old friend, Herm Edwards. You play to win the game. Hello? Do they have a loss on their record? They have no losses. They have not lost to anyone. They won the football games.
Yeah.
And I got news for you, Kneecap Biting. Got news for you. The Lions are going to lose this week. And this is nothing against the Lions. I love the Lions. They're going to lose this week. I want you to remember this next Thursday. Remember Sunday night at 11:45 p.m. when the Houston Texans beat the Detroit Lions. It is a bad matchup for Detroit this week. It's nothing against Detroit. It's just when you play 3 out of 4 games on the road, 2 of them against division rivals, this is an exhale game. It's not a great game for Detroit. It's not a great game for Detroit. I like Houston this week, and I think if we had this conversation next week, we're going to be like, the Chiefs are still undefeated, and the Lions now have 2 losses. So I'm going with the Chiefs. Next topic on the agenda is about the Chiefs. The 2-point conversion. Guys, I want you to bring yourself back. Bring yourself back for me. Bring it back to Monday Night Football, about 11:34 p.m. The Buccaneers drive down the field. They score the touchdown. You can kick the extra point and tie the game and play for overtime, or you can go for 2 and go for the win. Kyle, what are you doing in that scenario? Honestly, what did you feel at the moment?
I mean, at the moment, I actually didn't have a problem with the Bucs' decision.
Okay.
Look, I like to think that the coach has an understanding of his team. I assume that, Bowles was looking at the situation. The Chiefs are a really good defense. Maybe he didn't think they would come up with a good play call in that situation. Maybe he thought his team was tired and didn't want to go for 2. I don't have a problem with that, because at worst, you lose the coin toss. The Bucs defense was okay at times in that game. Maybe you get a stop and you go and you get your field goal and you get out of there. I agree, because you're playing the Chiefs, I wouldn't have had an issue if they went for 2. I think a lot of times some coaches worry about going for 2, failing and losing, and then the blowback from that. I will never kill a coach for being aggressive. I mean, as much as Dan Campbell is aggressive, and sometimes we're like, why do it there? That's who he is. Be true to who you are, and I won't have a problem with it. Okay. So at the moment I was watching it, I didn't have an issue with it. I get if people don't like it. I didn't have a problem with it.
Cardi 3.
Yeah, I did have I thought that they should have went for the win. You're playing an undefeated Chiefs team. Your entire team, you're down to 3rd-string receivers. You're just really beat up. You have momentum. You have the chance to, try to at least put this game on ice. I think you do it. This gives me, it gave me flashbacks immediately once I saw that field goal team to me yelling go for 2 when the Packers scored a touchdown off the Jeff Janis Hail Mary in the playoffs and then immediately kicked the field goal. Same thing then, same thing now. I think when you're playing a team like the Chiefs, you go for the win. You go for the throat, especially when you're undermanned. If you don't get it, oh well. Yeah, at least you didn't play for overtime.
Well, I'll say this, and Jory, I promise you, selfishly, I am going to bring this up. This will be a conversation piece tonight. I am not. This is a selfish statement, and that's okay. I agree. So I was screaming at my TV. And let me be clear. I'm really glad that game went in overtime. Kareem Hunt scoring that touchdown won me 3 fantasy leagues. I have the screenshots to prove it. I had 3 wins that all came down to Kareem Hunt scoring that touchdown. Now, shout out to me for having the wherewithal to pick up Kareem Hunt the week before Carson Steele shit the bed and Kareem Hunt looked really good. But I'm telling you right now, man, if you're playing the Chiefs in that scenario, you have to go for the win. You have to go for the win. Because I knew immediately when the Chiefs won the coin toss that Tampa Bay wasn't touching the football. They weren't going to touch the football. Because when Mahomes needs to make a play, Mahomes makes a play. And it's just different. It's just different.
But I think there is a pushback where, once again, as a Patriots fan, when they were going through their run, I would see time and time again, teams would go into New England, face the Patriots, and try to be who they weren't and end up losing games like that. If this is who Bowles is, be who you are. Like, don't.
I'm gonna push back to that though. I'm gonna push back.
I'm sure, and like I said, there definitely is a pushback to that. But I'm just like, and Bowles is a guy who a lot of those years when New England was on that run, he went up against them, and that's probably shaped the way that he is. I feel like if the team was okay with it, I'm cool with it. I mean, Baker knew, like Chase said, because when they lost the toss, like Baker was like, "Oh crap." So, I mean, you take your chances.
All right, let me push back on that though, Kyle. And here's my pushback. And you brought it up. I was not going to do this on this show. I was not going to do this to you. But let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
What team beat Brady at his best in the Super Bowl? At his absolute best.
Philly did.
And hold on. And the
Giants as well. But
no. They did not beat Brady at his best. 17 points or 14 points is not Brady at his best. 500 yards is Brady at his best.
Well, I mean, that defense was pretty legit, but I see what you're saying. Yeah.
My point being is, here's my question, right? How did Doug Peterson and that Philadelphia Eagles team beat the Patriots? Were they the better team? I don't know. Maybe. Mm-hmm. But I will say this. They had balls, man. They went for a 4th and 3 on their own 42. The Philly special, they did not. They went to that game. They're like, we're playing to win. We are not playing to kiss the ring. We're not happy to be here. We're not happy to be at the parade. We want to be in the parade. And I feel like the way you beat a team like the Chiefs, a way you beat a dynasty like the Patriots, was you had to go there and give them everything you got. And if you lose and you empty if you empty the gun and it's emptied, fine. But you can't leave that game with bullets in the chamber. Because the last time Baker Mayfield touched that football, he scored a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back to the playoff game, the last time Josh Allen touched that football, he scored a touchdown. 13 seconds left. Up, field goal. Up, got the ball first in overtime. Up, touchdown. Up, game over.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, I mean, the pushback to the pushback could be.
I love it.
That's a Super Bowl. In a Super Bowl, I completely get it. Especially when you are the underdog team, you might as well throw every stop out there.
That's fair.
This is a regular season game in early November. Yes, you lost, and by the end of the season, you might look back at that loss and say you should have changed your mind and gone for it, but they still have plenty of opportunities left in the season to make up for that mistake.
All right,
so I would want to know if Bowles was in that situation in a playoff game, would he have gone for it?
I don't know. Bowles seems very conservative. He's a defensive-minded coach.
That's true as well.
In that way.
Yeah.
I do want to go to another point that Jory brought up earlier. And guys, this is selfish. And I need everyone in the chat locked in. Every single person that's in the chat, I need them locked in. Because I need therapy. I need legitimate therapy. I want to ask you guys a question real quick. Do you remember a time when your team was 6-2 and you were pissed off and hated the coach? I don't remember that time. I don't even know how that's realistic. But my team is 6-2. And I absolutely hate my coach. I hate my coach. I hate my coach. I watched the Eagles play the Jaguars, and they looked so prepared going in that football game. The defense looked great. The offense looked great. You know, first drive, they have to punt. That's all right. We'll big hit on the punt return. Fumble. Next play, perfect pass. Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley, touchdown, 7-0. Defense stops him again. Let's go downfield. Let's kick a field goal, 10-0. Defense stops him again. Actually, to be honest with you, Travis Etienne stopped him. Ball hit him off the friggin' shoulder pad right into Zach Baun's hand. The Eagles go up 16-0. Kick the extra point, 17-0 going into the break, right? No, wrong. Brett, I need to understand something better. Help me out here, Brett. What's the difference between 17 and 18 points in a lead? A 17-point lead and an 18-point lead. What is the difference?
There is none.
None. There's none. There's zero. What is the difference between a 16-point lead and a 17-point lead.
A whole possession?
A whole possession of football. Oh, and by the way, you're playing a team that has 2 wins, and what you're about to go up 3 possessions in the first half, and you're getting the ball in the second half. I don't know how that halftime speech goes for Jacksonville. They're ready to quit. The game's over. But nope. What'd you do? You went for 2. You went for the tush push. You didn't get it. And then Jacksonville gets to develop some momentum. Okay, fine. Get the ball coming out the half. Bang, bang, bang. Score a touchdown. 22-0. Now you're up 3 possessions. The momentum is gone. Oh, what do we want to do? Well, we got to chase those points we lost earlier. So we're going to go for 2 again. And then you give them momentum before their offense touched the ball again. What the hell is going on? So they stop the tush push twice then. It's 22-0. They score a touchdown. They go for 2. It's 22-8. The next play, granted, it was an awful call because Saquon Barkley was touched. But fumble return, touchdown, they go for 2, and it's 22-16 within 14 seconds. And all of a sudden, you're in a football game. Eagles go down with the ball. They go right down the field. 4th and 1 at the 25-yard line. Let me ask you a question real quick. What's the difference between 6 points and 9 points?
A whole possession.
A whole possession. But nope. We rushed to the line on 4th and 1. Well, it's got to be the tush push, right? We got to run the tush push on 4th and inches. Nope. Roll out, play action, jump back 8 yards to throw the ball away. To stay up 6 points. I was throwing stuff in my house. Eagles defense gets a stop. They go down and score a touchdown. Jacksonville comes back and scores a touchdown. This idiot plays clock control at their 46-yard line and then settles for a 57-yard field goal. Of all the field goals that you kicked in the game, you kick a 57-yarder. Up 5 points. Oh, Brett, let me ask you a question real quick. And I'm not trying to be an asshole when I say this. Is it the same amount of possessions if you're up 5 versus 8?
Yeah, that's a 1 possession game.
Are you out of your mind? What the hell? I'm really just trying to understand. I've never seen a coach. This is not a joke. This was talked about on the radio. This was talked about in Philadelphia. I've never seen a coach on the hot seat after a 4-game winning streak. Ever. He goes out and loses Sunday at Dallas. They're going to fire him. And you guys think I'm crazy for saying that. He goes out and loses Sunday at Dallas. He'll be 6-3 and fired.
I mean, if he loses to Cooper Rush and Trey Lance, it's deserved at that point.
Yeah, you're probably.
I'm telling you right now. Listen to me, guys. Listen to me. The Eagles are going to lose Sunday. You think I'm nuts? I'm not lying to you. They got checker Fred Johnson lined up versus Micah Parsons, who's coming back from his injury. Cooper Rush is a more efficient quarterback than Dak Prescott, and CeeDee Lamb is playing. And the whole world thinks the Eagles are going to win this football game. And I'm telling you right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are 1-5 in Jerry World the last 6 times they played there. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to lose Sunday, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy for saying that, and they're going to fire him. They might not fire him Monday because they have a Thursday game, but I'm telling you right now, they lose to Dallas and Washington, he's gone. He's gone. And I'm telling you, bro, watch that game Sunday. I'm like, what happened? Why is this game close? Devontae Smith pulled his hamstring in practice. He might not play. Saquon Barkley's got nursing a back injury. He might not play. A.J. Brown's got a knee injury. He might not play. And everyone's talking like the game's over. It's not over. It's not over. I've been an Eagles fan my entire life. This is the exact football game that they lose. Kyle, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yep.
Would you take Nick Sirianni over Gerard Mayo?
No.
Okay. Would you take Nick Sirianni over Dave Canales? There's
probably only because I don't really know much about Dave Canales, but yeah.
There's one coach in the NFL. One. That I said definitely not, I wouldn't. And it was Dennis Allen. And I told you last Thursday. What I tell you guys last Thursday? The Carolina Panthers are going to beat the New Orleans Saints, and Dennis Allen's going to get fired Monday. That team quit on him. That's the only coach in the NFL that I would take Nick Sirianni over. Maybe Eberflus, because he's a moron too. And I was right about him. And I don't know how. I watched Hard Knocks and I fell in love with the guy. And I was just like, I might have been wrong about Eberflus. Nope, I was right. He's a moron. And Chicago's going to rinse and repeat again.
I get to take credit in saying he was a moron after everybody watched Hard Knocks. So
you can do that. And Brett, you can take a lot of credit this year. But let me, guys, when you watch, look, are the Chicago Bears going to do exactly what they've done for the last three quarterbacks? They're going to fire Eberflus at the end of this year, and they're going to hire another coach and not marry him to Caleb Williams. Guys, Caleb Williams has got bust written all over him now, and he shouldn't. He is ultra talented. Did you guys see DJ Moore walk off the field? I have to bring that up. Oh, he tweaked his ankle. That's what he said in the media. While chuckling.
Yeah.
He walked off the field in the middle of a play.
The only at first I thought it's because he stepped out of bounds, so I thought he didn't come back in because he didn't want Caleb to throw to him for an illegal touching penalty. But then all of a sudden you see the part where he walks all the way over to the bench to sit down, and I was like, "What in the world is going on?"
Right, because Hunter Henry did that where he accidentally stepped out of bounds and he just stood there and was like this to Drake May, was like, "Don't throw it to me." But yeah, DJ Moore literally just kept going, took his helmet off, and was like, "Yeah, you guys got this without me." I mean, I think with Caleb Williams, I guess it would depend on who they hire. And
yeah, but that's
based
always
off of Chicago's history, they'll probably hire the wrong guy. And then you have to be really concerned about Caleb Williams.
I think they just made the wrong pick at 9. I like Romo Dunze, but when you know your line's a mess, why are you picking a novelty pick and wide receiver instead of offensive line help? And
that's what bad teams do, Brett.
Yeah, so you could have had your pick out of anybody not named Joe Alton and Latham, but they decided wide receiver, and now they're paying for it.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
When was the last time a good franchise picked a skill position player 1 through 9? Not a quarterback, a skill position player. Yeah, but are they a good franchise, or do they have a quarterback that's just elite that brings them to levels they shouldn't be at? That franchise is terrible.
Yeah, historically there, yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Good franchises don't. Look at Atlanta. 3 straight years. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson. What? Kyle Pitts can be out in the league in 2 years.
Yeah.
It's insane. It is insane. It's absolutely insane what happens in the NFL. Oh, man. Let's talk about the trade deadline. Let's talk about the pieces that got moved. I got to laugh. I got to laugh at the Cowboys. I just gave them credit. I got to laugh.
Yeah.
Guys, are we for real? Jonathan Mingo for a 4th? Jonathan Mingo for a 4th? Guys, are we serious?
Mingo and a 7th for a 4th.
Okay. Jonathan Mingo for a 4th. What are they thinking?
They aren't.
They just paid Dak $60 million. They're 3-5. He's on the IR. And they traded a 4th-round draft pick for a wide receiver. They're in punt mode. Mike McCarthy's fired. He's gone. What the hell was that? What did the Chiefs trade for DeAndre Hopkins? I got to see this. What did the Chiefs trade for DeAndre Hopkins? Are you out of your friggin' mind?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, if you're Mike McCarthy, you have to look at this season as clearly Jerry just wants you out of the building. He did nothing for you in the offseason. Then at the trade deadline, he brings you in a wide receiver that has failed in Carolina, and you are expected to win with your starting quarterback hurt. I don't know what Mike McCarthy's supposed to do with this situation. Like at this point, he might just walk into Jerry's office and go, "I'll save you the time. I will quit. Just, I'm done."
I have the trade right here. I need to just see this. The Titans will receive a 2025 fifth-round pick that becomes a fourth-round pick if the Chiefs reach the Super Bowl and Hopkins plays 60% of the snaps with Kansas City. Oh, man. The Tennessee Titans will also pick up $2.5 million of Hopkins' remaining $8 million salary. Jonathan Mingo. And what is the Chiefs' fifth? Like the last pick in the round. It's like a sixth. And Dallas is giving up a fourth-round pick, which is probably going to need 10 to 15 in the fourth, almost a third for Jonathan Mingo. Guys, I'm going to just read you something real quick. And I don't mean that this is not a joke. I'm not trying to make fun of Jonathan Mingo. That's not at all what the goal is. Jonathan Mingo's career stats. 55 receptions for 539 yards. And get this, ready? 0 touchdowns. Are you out of your friggin' mind?
Okay. He didn't have Cooper Rush in Carolina. Okay.
Bro, 55 receptions.
My favorite part about Jonathan Mingo is he also has the worst attempt at a toe tap you will ever see in your life. If you know, you know. If not, definitely go look up Jonathan Mingo jumping out of bounds trying to toe tap a football. It is.
Bro, you know who else can't toe tap? George Pickens. George Pickens is another one. I don't understand. He can do so many crazy things on a football field, but he can't toe tap. He is the worst receiver near the boundaries I've ever seen in my life. 49% catch rate. I can't. The Bills gave up a third rounder and a 2026 seventh for Amari Cooper. And the Bills' third rounder and the Cowboys' fourth rounder are about 14 picks away from each other. Amari Cooper or Jonathan Mingo. Someone help me out.
Right.
Now, I get it. Now here's the argument for Dallas, right? I'm joking. I understand the principles of it. You have a young receiver in the second year of his contract on a rookie deal, a second rounder. You have 2 more years of control. You probably could get the fifth-year option. I understand the concept. I don't understand the trade. They got to sign Micah Parsons.
Jerry said that they were going to get a guy they liked coming out of college.
Good job, Jerry.
That was Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah.
Jerry talks a lot out of his ass.
Yeah, because someone else keeps on the microphone there.
I do want to ask you guys a question. And did you watch the 2 ejections that happened this past week? The Puka Nacua one and the Brian Branch one. Did you see both of them? I want to hear your thoughts on both of them. I'll just be very clear. I thought Puka's was a 15-yard penalty. I've seen players do a million things worse than what Puka did. Did he even connect? I don't even think he connected. I get it. You throw a punch, you throw it out of the game. But, bro, if you watch some of these piles and some of the things that happen that do not throw, the Brian Branch one was clear case of headhunting. Okay, fine. But the Puka Nacua one, what are your thoughts, Kyle? Did you agree with both of them? Agree with one of them? Agree with neither?
I mean, the Puka one, that's probably one of those to, I guess, control the emotions of the game. Because if you throw a punch and if you miss or something, it's something that could linger, so you get them out, whatever. The Branch one, yes, that one, you can't have that. that was a dangerous play.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what could have happened with that? Kneecap is saying, like, he gets it. Like, that one, yeah. Because I first saw it when I was watching it, like, live speed. I was like, oh, maybe he missed or something. Then they showed the replay, and it's like he just lowered his head, was aiming at space and connecting on heads. Like, that one, you got to go. Puka, I would have been fine if they just flagged him 15 yards or something. But, letter of the law, you throw a punch, whatever. So Puka should have stayed. I'm fine with Branch being ejected.
Okay. Brett?
Yeah, I agree with that. Branch for sure should have gotten tossed. And when it comes to Puka, I get the principle of what they're trying to do because you don't want problems later because everybody knows that Puka was the one that threw a punch. But I didn't think they necessarily needed to. It was soft. So, like, I also thought it was going to be 15 yards, but I understand what they were trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree 100%. Man, it was a real weird week for the NFL, but guys, we normally don't break down extra games like games at the end of this week. We're here to talk about the Thursday night game, and we're going to get the Bengals Ravens shortly. But I want to get to one game because I think it's really fun and really important. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who are now 6-2, are playing the Washington Commanders, who are 7-2 in Washington. We were split on wire to wire last night, and I'd love to hear where you guys stand on this one. Who do you guys think win this game? What do you think ends up happening in this game? The Washington Commanders go out and get Marshawn Lattimore at the trade deadline. It's a win now move. He's an aging corner. I mean, he's not that old, but in the NFL, Marshawn Lattimore isn't young anymore.
Yeah,
he's an old 28.
Okay.
He's been around the block like for 28. You know what I mean? The win now move for Washington. How do you see how this plays out this year with the game between Washington and Pittsburgh?
I mean, I think it's going to be a fun one for sure. I mean, since Russ has been installed as a starting quarterback, like there's a new energy with that Steelers offense. Washington, I've been a fan of theirs all season. This will be a really good test for them going up against a defense like Pittsburgh. They're 7-2. They're feeling themselves. Like, this is a game where a young team can go into and like get blown out because they weren't necessarily mentally ready. I think Dan Quinn will have this group prepared. I think Jaden Daniels is not your typical rookie quarterback. He seems like a guy that's, very level-headed and has been performing really well. To be honest with you, I think Washington gets this one. I think it's going to be probably the most entertaining game of the week, possibly, because this is the one game I really want to see. But I think Jaden Daniels and that offense does enough to get the win against that Steelers defense. So I'll take Washington.
Okay. I disagree with you before we go to Brett so we can have a deadlock and Brett can break it. I actually think that the Steelers defense is a defense that's going to tremendous. Look, the Chicago Bears defense tremendously slowed down the Commanders offense. The Commanders were in a dogfight last week with the Giants. Daniel Jones was moving the ball against that great defense. So I don't think they're that good of a defense, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think that their secondary is not good. Excuse me. I think that their secondary is not good. Add Marshawn Lattimore, they get a lot better. Steelers went out there and they brought in a wide receiver also, Mike Williams, which you knew was getting traded after the red line thing. But I think the Steelers are a better football team. I think TJ Watt wrecks havoc. I think that defense as a whole really controls. And I think you see the first game where you see Jaden Daniels turn the ball over multiple times. I think the Steelers are the better football team. I think they're better coached. I think they're deeper. And I think their run game has allowed them to actually develop the play action pass with Russell Wilson. I love the Steelers in this game. I think that they're the easy pick in this football game. And then if you add the look ahead aspect for the Washington Commanders, they have a short week. They got to play at Philadelphia Thursday night. That's a divisional game. This is the example of a trap game. Brett, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to go with the Steelers on this one. I love the Lattimore move. I think the big thing it does is I think Benjamin St-Juste has done a good job, but he's going against number ones overwhelmed. I think Lattimore lets him move to a more natural cornerback 2 spot. But I agree. I think that this is going to be a trap game. I think maybe that the Commanders will overlook the Steelers a little bit because they do have the Eagles on Thursday. So I think the defensive line for the Steelers is going to be the main difference, and they're going to come away with a win.
I think Emmanuel Forbes is now, we can write him off as a bust of a first-round draft pick because them trading for Lattimore and St-Juste being their opposite of Lattimore now, Emmanuel Forbes was supposed to be booked in as your cornerback 1. Dan Quinn's a defensive guy. He's always been a defensive guy. Him basically giving up on you tells me everything I need to know. Everything I need to know. But last game before we break down the Thursday night game, and I already kind of got to this a little bit, and kneecap biting, I want to be very clear when I say this. He said Jaden McDaniels looks like Stroud last year with better athleticism. I don't agree with that. I think Jaden Daniels is a lot more with his legs. I think Stroud was a lot more with his arm. Just my opinion. Hey, don't go yet. I need you to hear me one more second. I think that if Will Anderson Jr. and Nico Collins do not play, that the Lions will win the football game Sunday night. But I think Will Anderson Jr. and Nico Collins do play. And I think if both of them play, I think the Houston Texans on Sunday Night Football upset the Detroit Lions. What do you say, Guardy 3?
I say that's fair. I think those two would add a great boost to the Texans, but I think in this game I would have just go with the Detroit Lions. I think they're a more physical team, and they'll use that to control the clock and let Jared Goff play off play action. It'll be a close game, but I think the Lions will come out on top on this one.
Kyle?
I agree. I got the Lions in this one. I mean, Jared Goff just takes care of the ball. He's completing like 75%. They can run the ball. They'll play their defense. The Texans have been too up and down for me. Like they have, what are they, 6-2, 6-3, and you couldn't really say that they're playing really well right now. So
6-3.
Yeah,
they have extended rest. Detroit's coming off of a road game versus division rival. I just truly believe. Yeah, you can say it's not close. Do you think the game won't be close? Granted, you can give me red zone defenses and stats about that, but
I think it definitely will be close. If there's one thing that the Packers did show, they were still able to get 450 yards in all essence. So if you statistically just looked at the game, you would think that they won because they almost outplayed them in a lot of aspects. But there are too many mistakes that the Packers made. But I think the one thing they did show is you can move the ball against this Lions defense.
Okay. I think that just being clear, I think if Nico Collins plays, I think that the Houston Texans move the ball a little bit more efficiently than the Detroit Lions do in this football game. D'Amico Ryans, former defensive coordinator, will have a game plan. Extra couple days to prepare really matter. Coming off a loss, Detroit coming off an emotional win. A lot of that stuff matters in the NFL. And I'm not saying that the Texans are a better football team than the Detroit Lions. What I am saying is in this opportunity, in this spot, it's a bad spot. But we'll find out. We'll see Sunday. Sunday Night Football should be a banger. But tonight, we have an AFC Norris, the black and blue division. You got the Cincinnati Bengals, who, guys, if we're just being honest, Joe Burrow has been playing great football. Great football. He's got 20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 2,200 yards, and a 108 quarterback rating. This is the best quarterback season he's had statistically in his career, including the 2021 team that went to the Super Bowl. Now, it's close. The quarterback ratings are close. The touchdown interceptions close. But Joe Burrow is playing incredible football. Last week, he threw 5 touchdown passes versus the Raiders. The Baltimore Ravens coming off a huge win at home, blowout win over the Denver Broncos. They're playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who they already have a win across this season. They already have a win across. They beat them in Cincinnati. This game's in M&T. It's in Baltimore. 6.5-point spread. Kyle, I know you're a Ravens hater, but even you can admit that the deck seems to be stacked towards the Baltimore Ravens tonight.
I mean, look, I don't know. I'm a Ravens hater. I just like to, keep it real about their team. I mean, look, you look at it on paper, the Ravens should win this game. Joe Burrow in that first game, with as bad as that defense is, stood toe-to-toe with them. I would like to think it would be a little different this time if he's in the same situation. I don't like Baltimore defensively. I still don't. They brought in, Tre'Davious White. Okay, sure. No interceptions, none of that. Like, I don't know what he necessarily adds to their secondary, but
White coach's decision is inactive for Thursday's battle against the Bengals.
Right, yeah, because I know it was a short week for him. He probably wasn't going to play, but it's just like the secondary can be beat, and you're dealing with Chase. Like, I just have a feeling that the Bengals will right the wrongs from the first meeting and win this one in Baltimore. Obviously, the key for them is going to be stopping Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Who, with all the attention that Lamar Jackson's getting, Derrick Henry is more important to that team if they want to win a Super Bowl than Lamar Jackson is.
Tre'Davious White looks bad this season. Yeah, I agree with you. He didn't look good in LA.
Yeah.
I think that the Ravens somehow find a way to win this game. I don't think they cover. I think
I agree with that.
too much.
Yeah.
I think this is a close game. I think this game ends on Justin Tucker's foot. I will say this: the Bengals need this game a lot more than the Ravens do. Bengals are 4-5. They're fighting their way back in the playoff race. They're fighting their way back in the division. I'll tell you right now, the Chargers do not look like a team that's going to be giving up that one of those wild card spots. Sorry, guys. I don't know where sneeze is coming from. But I think the Bengals need the game more. I think the Ravens are a better football team. Cardi 3?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's I think that the Bengals will make this very, very close. I think the 6.5 is too much. I think they'll play desperate a little bit, but I think the Ravens are just going to have just enough in the tank. It's going to be a close game, and I think they'll barely pull it out behind a big day from King Henry.
Now, a lot of people don't realize this. The Lightning in Thunder and Lightning in Baltimore that I predicted before the season started is returned to the lineup. If you guys don't remember Keaton Mitchell, that kid is explosive. He tore his ACL last year. This is his first game back. I predicted come playoff season, he's going to be the Thunder and Lightning with Derrick Henry. He averaged 8.4 yards per carry last year on 40. Guys, it wasn't like he had 2 carries. He had 47 carries and averaged 8.4 yards per carry. Also averaged 10.3 yards per reception out of the backfield. Keaton Mitchell coming back to that Ravens offense is just adding another piece of explosiveness. Now, granted, they're just going to work him in. I don't think there'll be anything serious tonight. But Justice Hill's days are numbered. And with Deontay Johnson getting a second game there, you got Zay Flowers, you got Keaton Mitchell. This Ravens team is looking to get healthy offensively at the right time. Defensively, on the other hand, they are really missing their defensive coordinator from last year. They are. And the Ravens as a whole are a team that is just, they're interesting to watch. I remember week 1 after that Kansas City game when they're like, if this is the best they got, we're going to beat them, blah, 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 blah. And, they beat the snot out of Denver last week, but they have a lot of weird trip-ups. Allowing 29 points to Jameis Winston, who looks like he still needs LASIK after last week, 31 points to the Buccaneers, 23 to the Commanders, 38 points to Cincinnati. There's just a lot of things. 25 to Dallas in a game they almost lost. 26 to Vegas, 27 to Kansas City. This isn't the defense that the Ravens had last year with Mike McDonald. This is not that defense. Love to hear how you think. What do you think the Bengals' key to victories are tonight, Kyle? Outside stopping Derrick Henry. I know you said that.
Right.
I think Jamar Chase needs to have a huge game.
Yes.
And I'm talking about 240 because T. Higgins is out. And that's another big piece just missing.
Yeah.
And if I'm the Ravens, man, I am sending everybody and their mother Jamar Chase.
I feel like if they do that, I could see Yosha Voss or one of these guys have a big game. Because I think with Baltimore, the mystery that they had with that defense that scared a lot of teams they don't have. The teams that score on them, they attack Roquan Smith in the passing game over the middle. He has struggled this year. They attack Stevens and those guys on the back end deep downfield. So I think if I'm the Bengals, I just air it out, force that secondary to stop me. I say, hey, if you want to blitz me, go ahead. I do quick passes and get yards after catch. That's what I think they do. I think they use their running backs over the middle, like I said, attacking Roquan Smith. And that's why I feel like they have to use their, Joe Burrow obviously have to keep them upright, but attack that passing defense. It stinks.
Two guys that are the key to Bengals offensively. Chase Brown's one of them, and Mike Gesicki, who's developing a great relationship with Joe Burrow. Looks like that they're right in sync with each other. Chase Brown and Mike Gesicki need to have big nights for the Bengals to keep this game close. I still don't think they win the game. And, right here, Jory said it, Roquan is now more vulnerable in the middle now. You have the best linebacker safety dynamic in the NFL with Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith, and they're not being used properly. Roquan Smith is an absolute horse. The guy is incredible. If you watched him last year in Mike McDonald's system, you thought you were watching the best player and best defensive player in the NFL. Last week, he had 3 tackles. What? I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's like Nick Sirianni with the offense in the Philadelphia Eagles. You have all those weapons. Why doesn't it look better?
Mm-hmm.
All those guys there. Why doesn't it look better? It's kind of weird. Brett,
also, Matabike has been a no-show.
Yeah.
He had all those sacks last year, got paid. What's he been this year? There's a lot of drop-off on that defense that is contributing to why that defense is no longer as good as they are, as they were.
Bro, what's the key to victory for the Bengals? How can they pull the upset off?
I think it's just air it out early and often and just be really aggressive. The secondary is what's shown as, to be vulnerable. They lost to a Raiders game when their Raiders have Zamir White as running back. Overall, I think that the big key to this is be aggressive early and often, air it out, and just make sure to stay aggressive. Stay aggressive. If you get up on the Ravens, keep swinging. Don't let them get back up. So I think they just have to be very aggressive and pass often.
Let me ask you a question, and I really genuinely, coming off an MVP season, Lamar Jackson, one of the favorites to win the MVP this year. And I don't mean this is going to sound so condescending, and I'm not trying to sound this way. For one game, for one series, for one season, you're starting a franchise. Are you starting with Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson?
Joe Burrow.
Say for one season?
One season, one game. I don't care however you want to spin it. Who do you think is the better quarterback?
Better pure thrower.
No, that's not what I asked. Joe Burrow is, of course, the better pure thrower.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's better with his legs.
I'd probably take Joe Burrow. It's close, but
I feel the same way, man. I watched the way Joe Burrow just spins the ball around the yard, and he's just different, man. I just see something different in him. I've seen something different in him since he came out. It's insane. I genuinely think Joe Burrow is the closest thing you've seen to what you have with Patrick Mahomes. He reminds me so much of the way Tom Brady is. It's just he's in a bad organization. Imagine if Tom Brady went to a bad organization. I know I'm not trying to say Joe Burrow is just that good. He's Tom Brady. But like if Tom Brady went to the wrong organization, and Kyle, this is a compliment to your organization. If he went to the wrong organization with the wrong head coach or wrong situation, I think he'd look like Joe Burrow. That's what I see. And he says both are injury prone. Neither. I guess you're taking Jared Goff over either one of them. I know you're a Lions homeboy, but like, come on, dude, stop. These are two of the top 5 quarterbacks in football, and I don't think there's much argument there. What do the Ravens have to do to avoid upset, Kyle?
Stick to their identity. Run Derrick Henry. It can't be one of those games where at the end you look at it and Derrick Henry has like 10 carries. Like Harbaugh will do that randomly for whatever reason. You give it to Derrick Henry. You continue to beat up on that Bengals defense. And then you can sprinkle in, Lamar with the rollouts and everything like that. But Derrick Henry should be a focal point for them offensively. I don't know if there's anything they can do defensively, so I'm going to leave that side of the ball as is. Eat up clock. Best way to help the defense.
Okay. Brett, what do the Ravens have to do to avoid upset?
At this with them, I think it's just make sure you're efficient in the red zone and clock control. I know you won a shootout against them last time, but that doesn't mean you want to invite another one. So establish Henry in early and often, and when you're down in the red zone, just make those trips count.
I think in order for the Bengals to win this game, Joe Burrow's got to be next to perfect. And I think he can be. I think he'll be close. But at the end, I think the Baltimore Ravens win this football game. I don't think it's as high scoring as it was the last time.
Yeah.
I'll go 23-20 Ravens on a walk-off Justin Tucker field goal.
Yeah, I was thinking like this something similar, like 25-22 Ravens on a walk-off field goal.
Sprinkle a little coin on the under, boys. Sprinkle a little coin on the under. 53.5 is a high number.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to go right up to it because that's the way Vegas loves it. I was going to say 28-25 Bengals.
Okay. Well,
how about Tucker misses that kick?
Oh, man. That's crazy to me how many kicks Tucker's missed this year. Any final comments, gentlemen, before we wrap up?
Check out the N1 podcast in an hour and go, Pat, go. Go, Pat, go.
There it is. Kyle, any final comments? Tell us where to find you. What are you going to be on next?
I will be on Passion and Precision tomorrow on Integrity Sports Network. And I probably will have a video up on my channel, Chomping at the Bit, later on, probably early tomorrow. So that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, guys, make sure you tune in to anything you see on Wire to Wire Network, Integrity Sports Network. We're family. We're friends. And I appreciate you guys all tuning in to Sideline tonight. I need you guys to have a fun Thursday night football game. I'm Wire to Wire Gene. That's Chomping at the Bit. Integrity Sports Network, Kyle Edwards. And he's not guarding the 2. He's guarding the 3. Brett Gardy 3. And we are signing out.